It's Monday, the weekend is over, and we're back with the PlayStation news that you should care about. What's up everybody, I'm Sean Fox and you're watching PlayStation News Now, your source of news, rumour reviews and video game discussion. It is Monday, April 18th. So, what's new in the world of PlayStation? Well, for starters, Gamestop Chief Operations Officer Tony Bartel has weighed in on the whole console upgrade thing. Now apparently, and according to Bartel, PlayStation 4K and a revised Xbox One, possibly in the form of an Xbox One Slim or an entirely new Xbox. Well, the comment came during a GameStop Investor Day when Bartel claimed, and I quote, "The launch of these new consoles are imminent." End of quote. Now Bartel didn't say console as in one console. He said consoles. Now we all know the Nintendo NX is not too far off, but Bartel seems to suggest that other manufacturers, possibly both or perhaps just PlayStation 4K for the time being, but who knows what's up these manufacturers' sleeves. Particularly Microsoft's Xbox head Phil Spencer, who publicly stated he would be interested in modular styled upgrades for the current iteration of Xbox One and possibly mid-cycle console refreshes. However, Phil Spencer later backpedaled and retracted and more recently stated Microsoft is not interested in an Xbox 1.5. Instead, Microsoft would be interested in a much more substantial Xbox One update, put it that way, but not ruling out introducing a mid-console cycle upgrade. Problem with Phil Spencer is that you never know where you are with the man. One day it's this, the next day it's that. However, we must appreciate this is a very competitive industry. Therefore, neither company will want to give anything away before it's time. In terms of PlayStation 4K, while I think everybody and their dog knows that is happening, yes, the PlayStation 4K upgrade will be around twice the power of the current PS4. However, I'm hearing mumblings that Sony may choose to only use this extra power for PlayStation VR applications and ultra high definition 4K Blu-ray playback, as Sony has noticed the feedback hasn't been great regarding the enhancement of games. So basically, because of a few birds crowing, those of us who would like 60 frames per second gaming at a much higher definition will likely have to make do with the regular 1080p 30 frame per second gaming. So it looks likely 4K Blu-ray playback and Netflix 4K streaming, as well as extra power for PlayStation VR gaming and apps, will be the order of the day. So rejoice naysayers, it looks like you'll get what you want. Yes, limited 30 frame per second 900 to 1080p gaming on soon to be 3-year-old hardware. Well done, bloody well done. Anyway, moving on. So what of Nintendo's NX? Well, courtesy of RGT, rumour has it the NX will utilise Polaris architecture with full Vulkan support. Now, the NX is said to be twice the PlayStation 4's power and will easily run games at 60 frames per second, full 1080p, possibly higher resolutions. The overall power of the Nintendo NX is said to sit somewhere in between the 2.5 to 3.5 teraflops of raw computing power. Now, Nintendo's NX will have between 6 to 8 gigabytes of GDDR5X. Did I say that correctly? GDDR5X memory. GDDR5X is the latest generation of the same GDDR5 memory PlayStation 4 uses. That is quite a tongue twister, that GDDR5. Anyway, now assuming the NX specs are real or at the very least close to realistic, is it any wonder both Sony and Microsoft are looking to update their current hardware? Because if they do not, mobile gaming will catch up to your precious Xbox or PlayStation. PC will leap further ahead in terms of generational technology, and never mind the NX games making your current consoles look like you're playing on the PlayStation 3 and 360 from late 2013. So those who object to mid-cycle console upgrades literally have no business acumen. These people don't know what they're talking about in terms of business. They hopelessly cling on to this outdated full 5 to 6 year console cycle that sees systems struggling to keep up with the latest software technology. Almost 1 year ago, software magicians CD Projekt Red had said that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will struggle to run Cyberpunk 2077 since it is way more demanding than the magnificent The Witcher 3. In fact, many devs have either had to scale back projects, omit effects, lower 60 frames per second target frame rates to say 30, sometimes they even struggle to hit 30 frames per second. Beautiful as it is, Naughty Dog's Uncharted 4 wasn't originally targeted for 60 frames per second across all modes of play, yet we saw a 960 frame per second scale back for multiplayer and 1080p 30 frames per second for the campaign mode. Yet the crows continue to stretch their beaks, insisting console cycles to go on 5 to 7 years. I suspect many of these so-called gamers who think only of what they want at any given time, well, it seems these same people don't want us others enjoying games at higher performance rates, visual fidelity, simply because they're not ready to upgrade. If you just purchased your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, why should the rest of us who purchased these consoles at launch or shortly after, why should they be denied the choice to upgrade? It's a perfectly legitimate question to ask. I mean, you don't want to upgrade, that's fine, but don't then complain that others do want to upgrade because you'll be playing at a lower performance. I mean, me personally, I don't own a 4K TV set yet and don't have any plans to buy one anytime soon. So PlayStation 4K is of currently no interest to me until I do upgrade my TV. But I wouldn't deny others the right to an upgrade because I'm not ready to purchase a 4K TV. But then I'm not a selfish, self-entitled individual under the illusion that these companies exist solely to serve me. Now before I go, people who make comments, please keep them as short as possible. I personally don't have time to mark essays. I'm kidding. But no, please keep them as short as possible as I cannot afford the time to read through them. Some of them are really, really long. Interesting but long. And those who comment profanity at myself and other commentators will be blocked permanently. I know that some rather sad individuals who have been blocked are creating new accounts just to type smack in our comment section. Now, I can tell from the same old poor grammar, spelling and crude spiel. Seriously, I didn't know I was so loved. Yep, it's way easier for me to block you than it is for you to go out of your way and trouble to create a new account. But yeah, knock yourself out. Literally. Anyway, everyone else can leave sensible and mature comments to which I will happily reply. Eventually, as I always do. No sensible comment goes unanswered, but let us know in the comment section what you thought of the topics today, and I'll be keen and interested in what you guys think, bringing us to the end of another video. If you enjoyed the content, poke the like button. Thanks to everybody sharing our videos, helping us reach more PlayStation fans, and subscribe for more PlayStation news, rumour and reviews. Until next time, play games, not corporations. Thanks for watching.